Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now we're taking a look at Galivan Cosmo Police, aka Cosmo Police Galivan, or just Galivan, and sometimes it's been misnamed as Galvan, even in some of the original inlay spine instructions and in some magazine reviews. It also came out for the Amstrad CPC and Commodore 64, but it's the ZX Spectrum version I'm reviewing here. Published by Imagine Software in 1986. I know it says Ocean there, but the inlay card said Imagine, so that's what I'm ultimately going with. Although Ocean and Imagine did take over Imagine at one point, even though they still continue to use the name. Quite where they didn't put Imagine here is on that screen is unclear, but the inlay card for the original cassette release said Imagine, so I'll stick with calling it an Imagine published product, even though it says Ocean on that screen. So what we've got here is one by one crack squad members of the Cosmo Police sought out evil in the planet Synep and tried to put an end to it. Now, as the last surviving member of this force, you must accomplish what dozens before have failed to do. Neutralize all the defenses of the Synep and penetrate the dangerous labyrinths to end the vile reign of Synep in this galaxy. As no one before you had survived, very little information is known about the defences, except that each level of the Techno Caverns is guarded by a monstrous, multi-headed demon. Each head spits lethal laser bolts and has to be killed separately. There are numerous robots and aliens, all with the one aim to destroy any intruders who threaten their domain. So I've got to destroy all of those, and there are also some power pyramids found about the caverns. So what led me to try this game is that one of my recent live streams, someone mentioned it, so I decided to give it a whirl. So initially I was concerned because it doesn't say any default keyboard controls in the instructions, but when you actually select keyboard, you get to choose your control keys. Now it's worth pointing out, even though it says colon for down, I actually press Z. So why it's got a colon there, I don't know, but it'll still let you use Z. And I've just selected one player. And the first thing I notice, there is a very small playing area. I mean, look at that. And, oh God, the controls are so unresponsive in this. It didn't take me long before when I briefly played it on my most recent, at the time of recording, live stream on Twitch, that the controls are not very good. If you want to run and jump, you'll find that you can't. You actually have to physically stop moving before you can jump, which is uncomfortably close to when I was doing the platform games on the NES Action 52, because you had to jump and then move afterwards in those. It reminded me too much of those, and I was not impressed to find it in a Spectrum game. And as you saw, I picked up a triangle with the letter P on it. That's one of the power pyramids I mentioned a few moments ago. And now I can shoot. And as you probably noticed by now, the scrolling is absolutely hideous. It's not even safe to call that scrolling. I mean, look how jerky and this is more like lunging than scrolling. Oh, goodness me. And if your power drops down too much, so does your weapon capability. Luckily, I've just powered up a bit so I can get that previous weapon back, but yeah. Why did those shots just go straight through that enemy? Oh, now it's decided to. Oh, this scrolling. And another thing, there's lots of colour, but unfortunately there's also rather a lot of attribute clash. And of course, because the play area is so small, by the time you even see that there's an enemy hurtling towards you, you don't get time to react to it because it's so small. You don't get a chance to react because everything's so close to the edge of the screen. And to think, imagine, put their names to superb ZX Spectrum games like Green Beret and Mikey and WEC Le Mans, and somehow they ended up being linked to this monstrosity by comparison. Another enemy I couldn't avoid because I don't get enough time to react because it's too close to the edge of the screen, and this horrible scrolling really doesn't help. I mean, luckily, where the responsiveness controls when you've actually got a gun is fine, but when you're restricted to punches as you are initially, the punching animation means it's very laboured before you. And actually, sort of, some of the enemies, when they hit you, paralyse you for a few seconds. And another thing that's not always clear is what you can walk through, or what looks like a wall, and what you can't. I mean, I can't walk through that, but it became very apparent to me that there were some things that looked like walls, but I could actually walk through. And I couldn't stop myself in time to avoid falling down there. See? That looked like a wall, but I can walk through it. Oh, dearie me, this scrolling is hideous. Again, because I didn't know that was coming up. Oh, dear me. I've not even been playing for a few minutes and already I'm bored. I mean, everything's just so repetitive and clumsy. I can't walk through that. But my word, this scrolling and all that colour clash. I mean, you can duck like that, but you can't just suddenly press down while you're moving along. It doesn't work. You just won't do it if you do that. See what I mean? By the time you realise that there's something there, it's practically on top of you and you can't avoid it. It doesn't matter whether it's an enemy or see, I can't walk through that. See what? It's really hard to tell what you can walk through and what you can't. Ow, for crying out loud! Put me further to the centre of the screen so I actually have a time to avoid anything. Ugh, God, see, oh, come on, how many bullets does it take to defeat one enemy? This is absolutely shocking. Right, can't walk through that. Another enemy that paralysed me when it touched me. Why can't this have proper jumping controls? These controls are horrible. Now, when I came across this, I thought, how am I meant to get that power pyramid? But you can actually happily touch the boss. That took that was. I mean, normally if you touch a boss, it kills you. And another thing, why am I edging forward towards this boss every time I jump? So I've got to defeat this boss piece by piece. Will you jump when I tell you to? Oh, for goodness sake. Ah, I'm dead again. What a surprise. This game is incredibly frustrating to play. I mean, look at that colour clash. I mean, this was 1986. By that point, colour clash was starting to be mastered, and this just isn't showing that. Right, another thing which I thought might have been able to walk through, and I can't. And now these look like ladders, but you can't go up them. Well, I've never found a way of being able to go up them anyway. Every time, even if I try and centralise myself, which is much easier said than done, I still can't go up them. Or at the very least, I can't seem to go up them. Which is odd, because they do look like ladders that you can potentially go up, but it just won't let me do it. Right, I got. Oh, God. See, look, that looked like a wall, so I actually have to investigate everything. It looks like. Oh, God, now I've got no gun. So I'm restricted to these punches, which barely respond. So that's going to be fun in itself. Especially as I said before, you can't run and punch nor run. I mean, you can't run and jump nor run and duck. You have to actually come to a complete halt, which takes precious time while you're getting repeatedly whacked by an enemy. Oh, God. Move. Oh, goodness me, this is so frustrating to play. Until you've played it, you've no idea how bad the controls are. I mean, they look conventional when you're actually redefining your keys, but when it comes to actually playing the game, it's a whole different kettle of fish altogether. I think I saw a pyramid up here. Oh, so you can even get paralysed even in mid... Yeah, here we go. Right, another thing I can't walk through. Yeah, they can. How does that make any sense? Oh, God, I'm so bored with this now. There's literally nothing at all enjoyable nor engaging about this. This is painful to actually play, and I'm utterly shocked that Imagine would even be linked to such a substandard game. Oh, gosh. So you basically have to walk around repeatedly pummeling the fire buttons. Is pretty much the only chance you have of not avoiding getting hit by an enemy that that is too close to the edge of the screen to see, and even then there's no guarantee it's going to be effective. And now I'm back to no gun and being stuck with the rather frustrating punching mechanism in this game, which oh God, it's so unresponsive. Dead. I tell you what, once I've lost my last life, there is no way I'm having another go at this. I'm fed up with it. Will you... I can barely do anything in this game. Oh, God. Oh, I'm nearly dead anyway. Frickin' hell. I cannot get over the fact that you can literally just walk past the boss like that. More often than not, if you try and do that in a game and you die, or at the very least take damage, it just... And I'm edging towards it every time I jump. Oh, God. Now I've got that piddly little pea shooter. Well, that's one of the heads taken care of. Oh, mistimed that jump. Well, at least you can actually fire while in mid-air. I mean, given the jumping mechanism being very similar to those in the platform games in the NES Action 52, part of me wouldn't have been surprised if you couldn't actually fire whilst you're airborne, but luckily at least they put that in it. Not that that's much of a saving grace, because the rest of the game still sucks. Nah. If you want to play a Spectrum game where you run along and shoot things, something like in a space setting, something like Exelon is far more enjoyable to play than this kerfuffle. Move. Yeah. Oh, this is the first time I've seen this weapon. Even in my live stream, I didn't get to see that. What? What's the point of... See, the shots just go right past... Oh, God, no. Oh, well, it was nice while it lasted. Will you bloody... See, when it throws at a spot, you can't do anything, which means that pretty much every enemy under the sun gets to have a cheap shot. I'm surprised that didn't hit me, but... Oh, for goodness sake. And of course, when you haven't got a gun, being able to just run along repeatedly pressing fire, preparing yourself doesn't work. And now I'm lost my last life. And quite frankly, for once, I'm actually glad, because I just can't take any more of that. So that was Galivan Cosmo Police, or just Galivan, or Galvan if you look at the misspellings that I mentioned earlier. Oh dear. Graphics, well, they look good in stills, but the colour clash is hideous and is very prevalent, which can often make what you're seeing on screen look unsightly. Animation's pretty good on everything, but that's about all I can really say about that. Sound, well, at least there is some. The music in the intro that you heard is a bit of an acquired taste, even for beeper music. The sound effects are, well, they're there. I can't really say much more about it than that. At least it wasn't deathly silent. Adds some atmosphere when you consider that until the 128K Spectrum came out, there was no actual sound chip in any of the Spectra that had been released up until that point. So it was going to be very limited. But what really stinks about Galivan is the gameplay. The very small playing area means it's nigh on impossible to avoid getting hit by anything, because you just don't get enough time to react. The scrolling is very jerky, as we saw. The colour clash sometimes made it a bit tricky to make out what was happening. It was often hard to tell what you could walk through and what you couldn't walk through, and in some cases what you could land on and what you couldn't land on. And the things that looked like ladders, I couldn't go up them. And just to clarify, I didn't actually press fire or press any key just then. It just suddenly went into that all by itself. So I'm not actually playing that, because quite frankly, I don't particularly want to. I didn't enjoy the experience during the live stream when I got my debut experience of it, and I didn't enjoy this anymore. Literally the only thing I enjoyed more about this particular one was finally getting to see that one weapon that I didn't get to see, that triple shot, which fires at 3 different heights, which missed those arrow-like projectiles anyway. So even with that, it wasn't exactly as helpful as it perhaps could have been. But the fact that everything I mentioned, plus the controls being a bit laboured, and the fact that the small playing area means you don't get nearly enough time to react to things, all of that just makes the game really unenjoyable, and above all, it's incredibly repetitive and frustrating. So I'm going to give Galivan on the spectrum 3 out of 10. I didn't enjoy the experience, and it wouldn't bother me if I never played that game ever again in my lifetime. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Hope to catch you on another video soon. Texie88 out.